Hi everyone, welcome to day 31 of Watching Me Learn Spanish. Today I am going through tracks 66 and 67 of language transfer, and then I'm going to start working through the text that I created on Sunday, 2 days ago. Yesterday I didn't um, go through the text because I had a dental procedure and I was just really out of it, drugged up and sore. Today I feel a bit better, still not 100%, but I think good enough to get through. So let's start with track 66.
So we're looking a bit at possession now, no? And how we express that in Spanish. Now in English we use possessive words, my, your, his, her, much more than we do in Spanish. So it's something we want to look out for. We already saw an example actually. For example, how we would say, I responded him the mail rather than I responded to his mail. Another example would be how we refer to body parts in Spanish. So you don't say in Spanish, for example, my leg hurts. You say, it hurts me, the leg. Doler is to hurt. How would you say firstly, it hurts me from doler? It hurts me.
La dole. La dole. La pierna.
Me dolo,
It hurts me.
lo, me,
I want you to divide the sentence up and to take control of it.
Me lo
No
dole.
guessing. It hurts me.
Me lo
Dole.
Good. It would be dole, but the O splits. So this is an error that's not a problem. You thought it through and you got to dole.
Dole.
But the O splits
La
here.
pierna.
so me duele,
Me duele. Good. Me duele. So you don't say in Spanish, my leg hurts. Mi pierna duele. You don't say that. You say, it hurts me, the leg. It hurts me, the leg. So leg is pierna. How would you say, my leg hurts?
Me duele la pierna.
me duele la pierna,
Good. Me duele la pierna. If you want to say, my leg doesn't hurt anymore, you can just use more for anymore. So what was more again?
Más.
más,
Más. So, my leg doesn't hurt anymore.
No me duele más.
no me duele la pierna más,
Good. Now the noun,
No
pain,
me
is
duele
dolor.
más la
Dolor.
dolor,
If you want to say, I have a headache, you can just say, I have pain of head. Dolor de cabeza. Dolor de cabeza. So how would that be? I have a headache.
Tengo dolor de cabeza.
tengo dolor de cabeza,
Good. Tengo dolor de cabeza. Good. I was having pain of head. So the
Tenía dolor de cabeza.
line in the past.
tenía dolor de cabeza,
Good. Tenía dolor de cabeza. And of course we can also say me duele la cabeza or me dolía la cabeza. This would be another way of saying it. So just as we can say dolor de cabeza to say headache, the ache of the head, if we want to say Jose's house, Maria's house, in Spanish we would say the house of Maria, the house of Jose. So how would you say the house of Jose, Jose's house?
La casa de José.
la casa de José,
So how would you say we are going to Jose's house?
Iremos. No. Vamos. Vamos a la casa de José.
vamos a la casa de José,
Good. Vamos a la casa de Jose.
Vamos a la
What
casa
if you
de
wanted to
José.
say we are going to Maria's party? We are going to Maria's party.
Vamos a la fiesta de María.
vamos a la
That's correct.
vamos a la fiesta de María,
Yes. Vamos a la fiesta de María. Very good. What was nobody?
Nadie.
nadie,
Nadie. And nobody else or nobody
Nadie más.
more?
nadie más,
Good. I didn't speak with anybody else in Maria's party.
No hablé con nadie más a la fiesta de María.
I didn't speak with anyone else in Maria's party. I only spoke with you. So let's start from the beginning. I didn't speak
No hablé
with anybody else
con nadie más
con nadie más
in Maria's party.
a la fiesta de
en la fiesta de María.
Good. No hablé con nadie más en la fiesta de María.
No hablé con nadie más en la fiesta de María.
I only spoke with you. Now, only or just, that we say a lot in English, I just spoke with you, I only spoke with you. In Spanish is solo, solo. So, I only spoke with you.
Solo hablé contigo.
Speaking informally.
Hablé solo contigo.
Hablaste,
I only spoke with you. Don't let it blend together.
hablé contigo solo.
Good. Or more naturally might be solo hablé contigo. But solo at the end there, it's fine. It just sounds more emphatic. You might want to be emphatic here. No hablé con nadie más en la fiesta de María, solo hablé contigo. Hablé solo contigo. Hablé contigo solo. I would like to talk a little bit more about writing in Spanish. So we haven't really looked so much about how to read and write in Spanish. We've spelled some words, we've discussed some sounds, and we've looked at convertible words, convertible, words that we convert over from Latin English into Spanish, and they give us a great idea about how to read and write in Spanish. For example, if we have a j sound, now, for example, in general, how is this pronounced in Spanish?
General.
General. And it's spelled the same. So there we understand that GE makes G sound. Without having to learn it formally, we can just look back to these convertible words when we are unsure of how a sound might be pronounced. So maybe you see CE together and you're like, is that C or is that K? But then if you look back to concentración, then you have your answer. CE, concentración, gives you your answer. So apart from the actual sounds, we also need to understand where the stress in any given word is when we read it. So in Spanish, you may have noticed you have written accents, little dashes above some vowels. Now, this isn't like French, for example, where the little dashes might actually change the sound of the vowel. None of that, luckily, is going on in Spanish. The written accent is just showing the stress. But why do we have it sometimes and not other times? So there is a general rule in Spanish, which is, if the word ends in a vowel, an N or an S, the accent should be on the penultimate syllable, on the second last syllable. Now, why do you think vowels and then N's and S's have been singled out for that rule? What if you look at our verbs? What do our verb forms end in?
Well, the they end in an N.
Right?
Ah, yes, S as well.
Or?
Vowel.
Exactly. So it's what our verbs end in N, S or vowel. So Spanish says if a word ends in N, S or vowel, the natural accent will be on the penultimate syllable, the second last syllable. Diferente, habla, hablan, hablas, hablamos. Ending S, but we're adding two syllables, so it's still on the second last. Hablamos. Importante, adictivo. Now, if the word ends in any other consonant that's not N or S, then the natural accent place is to go to the end of the word. And we see this perfectly with any to verb. No? How do you say to eat?
Comer.
Comer.
Accent on the end. Comer. To be, for states.
Estar.
Estar.
Estar. To speak.
Hablar.
Hablar.
Hablar. To find.
Encontrar.
Encontrar. So this R is not an N or an S or a vowel, and what that means is that the accent is coming on the end. So these are our natural accents. And if the word obeys the rules of the natural accents, we have no written accent generally. There's a couple of exceptions which I will mention. So if there's no written accent, you follow those rules. If it ends NS or vowel, you put the accent on the second last syllable, and if it ends in any other consonant, you're putting the accent on the end. But if your word breaks this rule, then you have a written accent to show you where you should be stressing. So for example, what is tradition in Spanish?
Tradición.
Tradición.
Tradición. And what are you ending it with? What is the last
Yeah.
letter?
And
N.
And where is the accent?
At the end.
At the end. Does this break our rule?
Yes.
So the O will have a written accent. That last O will have a written accent on the end, showing you that you're stressing it. Tradición. So all of these ion words that all have their accent on the end, situación, opinión, they all have a written accent there on the end. So now I'm going to tell you some words that we've come across already, and I want you to tell me if they will have a written accent or not. So what you need to decide is, are they breaking the accent rule or not? Encuentro. Encuentro.
Encuentro.
Firstly, what does that mean, encuentro?
I encounter.
Good, I find. Encuentro. Do we have a written accent there?
no.
No.
No. Good. Encontró. What does that mean first? Encontró.
Sorry. He,
found.
she, it,
Yeah. Found.
or you, formal. Found.
Good. And does it have a written accent?
Yes.
Yes, because it's breaking the rule. We're ending in a vowel and we have the accent on the end. So all of these in that point in the past are going to have that accent. Encontró, habló, llamó, llegó. Good. Vive, vive. Firstly, what does that mean? Vive.
He, she, it, you, formal, live.
Good. Does it have an accent?
No.
Good. Vivió.
It has an accent.
Where?
At the O.
Good. Vivió. He lived, she lived, you formal lived. It lived. Limón. What do you think limón means?
Lemon.
Lemon.
Lemon, good. Which is a Persian word actually, and it actually was used to talk about citrus fruits generally, and lime came from the same word. So lemon and lime is actually the same word, essentially. Does it have an accent? Limón?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, because it should be limón, right? But it's not, it's limón. It's breaking that rule, so it has a written accent. So when we're reading Spanish, if the word ends in a vowel, an N or an S, we want to put the accent on the penultimate syllable. If it ends in another consonant, we want to put the accent on the end, unless we are shown with a written accent that the rule is being broken. Salud means health, related to salute in English. Salud, and you can say it when you toast. Does it have a written accent?
No.
No. Good. It ends in a D, so we expect the accent to be on the end. Salud. So usually accents are written to show us that we're breaking the accent rule. But there are some other situations where we have a written accent. One of these situations is when we have words that are monosyllables, words that are just one syllable, and we can differentiate them with a written accent. For example, how was the word for yes?
Sí.
Sí.
And how was the word for if?
Sí.
Sí.
Sí. It's the same word. So yes is written with a written accent, and if is not. Now this written accent doesn't change the pronunciation. This differentiates them, so when you're reading, you don't have the ambiguity that could sometimes be caused by, oh, is that an yes or an if? Both could make sense there, especially because you use yes emphatically in Spanish. You can say, sí lo quiero, yes, I want it. But if that's written and you don't hear the emphasis, sí lo quiero, then you might read, if I want it. So to clear up that ambiguity, when you have monosyllables, words of one syllable that are the same, one will take an accent to show the difference. How was for me?
Para mí.
Para mí or por mí.
Good, very good. Either one, depending what for you want. Now, how was my house?
Mi casa.
Mi casa.
Mi casa. So this is different mi. One is the mi that comes after prepositions, para mí, por mí, de mí. And the other one is for possession, my. So, para mí, there you have the written accent on the mi of para mí, and you don't have it on mi casa.
Wait, I'm doing
Just
my
to show
stream.
the difference. What was the word for you, speaking informally?
Tú.
Tu. And what was your house?
Tu casa.
Tu casa.
Tu casa. The word for you, tu, takes a written accent. But the word for your in your house, tu casa, doesn't. So monosyllables that are the same are differentiated by accent. I know, how do you say I know?
Sé.
Yes, this se has a written accent. The se of se lo doy, I give it to him. The se of se queda, he remains himself, she remains herself, doesn't have an accent. Only the se of saber, I know, has one. So it's something you will pick up reading. Another example where we have accents is to differentiate question words from non-question words when they're the same. For example, you have donde. What does donde mean?
Where.
Donde.
Where? But sometimes donde is a question word, like donde estás? Where are you? There it will go with an accent. But if I say I'm going to meet him where we saw the football, this is not a question. So it doesn't have an accent. So Spanish likes to differentiate them as well. But now we're entering quite a bit of detail, and many Spanish speakers, when they're writing, make these mistakes as well and don't put these accents where they should. But I'm explaining just in case you come across donde with an accent and you don't understand why it's there because it's not breaking the accent rule. This is why. So in the same way, we have como, which means how or like. The como for how takes an accent, and the como for like doesn't. So there are a couple of grammatical examples when we are having accents just to differentiate words that are the same, or to differentiate question words from non-question words, but most of the time they are directing us to break the accenting rules. And it's very easy to remember the accenting rules because we only need to look at the present tense. We know that our verbs end in vowels, ends, or s's, and in the present tense we always have the accent on the penultimate syllable without any written accent, with of course that one exception, estar, where we have estás, están, está, and we do have a written accent. So we can look back there at the present tense to remind us that if the word ends n, s, or vowel, the natural accent is on the penultimate syllable, like the verbs in the present tense, and if it ends in any other letter, the natural accent is on the end of the word. And if we break this rule, we show it with a written accent.
Okay. Done with that. That lesson was it was interesting to do that without actually seeing anything written down. Like you have to hold a lot of things in your head, like the accent on this letter, the accent on that letter, without actually seeing the letters. I would say that was the first lesson of language transfer that I didn't like. But there have been so many more positives that yeah, it's been worth it for grammar. Okay, I'm gonna read through the text that I have. Nuestro viaje a España. Ahora mismo es enero en Berlín, donde yo vivo, y el tiempo es terrible. Todos los días está nublado y hace frío. El amanecer es a las 9 y el atardecer a las 4. De diciembre a febrero siempre es oscuro aquí. La oscuridad me cansa. También hace demasiado frío para que mi hijo juegue fuera. Dicho esto, decidimos viajar al sur de España para estar en un lugar cálido. Iremos allí el mes que viene. Volaremos a Valencia y nos quedaremos allí una semana. Ya conocemos bastante bien la ciudad porque pasamos allí 3 meses el año pasado. Estamos encantados de volver. Quiero visitar la misma cafetería al que iba cuando vivíamos allí. Espero que trabajen las mismas personas. Tal vez se acuerden de mí. También reuniremos con algunos amigos. Lo estamos deseando. Vamos a alquilar un coche en Valencia y conduciremos hasta Alicante. Nunca hemos estado allí y nunca he conducido en España. Me preocupa un poco, pero estaremos bien. Alicante es conocida por sus playas. El agua es clara y la arena blanca. No sé qué tipo de comida se come en Alicante, pero supongo que comen mucho pescado. Pasaremos una semana allí y luego volveremos a Valencia. Dormiremos en un hotel porque nuestro vuelo sale muy temprano a la mañana siguiente. Alright, I have to cut this stream short too because I am in some pain right now and I'm not able to really focus. So, thanks for tuning in to this very short day 31. I'll probably review this again before bed, but because of the dental procedure I had, I'm in a bit of pain and speaking is not pleasant right now. So, until tomorrow.